to Comic Con Baltics. Welcome to the panel all about me. No, I'm kidding. Folks, Baldur's Gate, Samantha Béart, Tim Downie. Give it a huge round of applause.
This is so cozy.
It's very cozy. This is...
Look at that.
It's a little too early for this.
It's very nice.
No,
Hello.
we need you here.
Please don't fall asleep. How are we all doing?
They're looking great, they're feeling great. What about you? You basically just arrived. I know that Jack was catching you at the airport, trying to give you a little introduction. All good with that? You did?
We're here.
We're here.
It was
yes.
a long day yesterday.
It was a very long
Yeah.
day, but I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the city a little bit. I hear you have an artist commune that kind of has its own money, its own stamps, those kind of things. And there was a very similar thing in West London as well, so I'm very intrigued to see it.
Yes.
And a lucky belly.
Ooh.
You hear about this?
No.
Rub the lucky belly.
Nice.
The rubber, yeah.
Nice.
Do you already have your plans set? I also you like shopping a lot.
Yes.
So
Shopping for the weird and the wonderful, like the strangest things you can think of, I will probably gravitate towards that.
how are you planning on beating the customs this time around if you bring too much?
Well, let's just find out. Let's just see what
It
happens.
shipped on.
Just have it shipped over, exactly.
Alrighty, well, Samantha.
Hello.
You are, of course, her, Karlach, but you also know for other roles, my particular ones include Frequent Flyer Random Dent
Yes.
and the Nelly Kutalot voices.
Yes.
Very, very specific.
Well done, well researched.
yes, I googled you. You did that, and for Tim, of course, the list of shows that you've been doing grows. Outlander, one of my favorites for sure. Working with all over the place, but this is your first voice role.
Yes.
How does it work for you? Of course, Sam, you've been working at this forever. You are all over the place in voices. Pick a video game and you're there probably voicing somebody. How was it for you to sort of go from different points at it? For you as an actor, or is it just a theater and in the end everything works out?
It's that actually. We can save you some time, can't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Just saying, it's just acting. Remember, we did mocap for this as well, so it's a fully physical experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you do a lovely jig when your character is idle.
I didn't do that. It was animated. They didn't even ask me, which I thought was rather rude.
Oh, that's rude.
You would have got something.
I agree, totally. But in the end, all of these people are here because of Baldur's Gate. So what was it stepping into, I mean, it was franchise already was going before then, but it's Baldur's Gate 3 that really brought it, and now it's become a global phenomenon. Everybody knows your characters' names. Folks are playing it for hours and hours. Again, people just spend like 10 hours just in the character creation screen. How was it stepping in something big like this? You done it like a year before it came out. Tim, you came in just a little bit earlier than that.
Yes, I started, well, it was 4.5 years. 4.5 years of recording. And I think the thing is when you approach a project like this, like I wasn't told what it was for 2.5 years. Didn't even know. Wouldn't even tell me what the name of the game was. So I'm a wizard, but what's the name of the game? Come on, because I'm getting an idea. No, we can't tell you that. I'm standing in the room doing the lines for the last 2.5 years. But I do genuinely think that if we'd have known the sheer magnitude of the thing, if you'd have known what we know now back then, it would put too much pressure on a performer to do certain things. When you don't really know what's going on, it gives you that sense of freedom, it gives you a room to play, it gives you all of those things that you need to create character, to make mistakes, to do something that way, that doesn't work, okay, let's try this, and you gradually kind of carve your way like a river through a mountain, you gradually kind of eat away at it till you get to where you need to be.
And Sam, when you joined, what stood out to you? Like, I know you, I think, tried to audition for another role earlier.
No, it was a version of Karlach for the early access, which
Gotcha.
I didn't play. Someone else played that, so I didn't
Right.
get that role.
Uh-huh.
But then I did 2 years later. So.
They picked you up again and said, yes, you
But she was
are.
very different, and she was very similar to Gale at the beginning, so I think they wanted to make her quite different, which is why she's, very changed from the early access. She certainly physically changed quite a bit as well. So I did know what it was because it was someone from Larian was very nice about the excavation of Hobsbawr and thought I was a good actor.
Nice.
So I slid into his DMs and said, how good? And I thought, if there's anything, you've got to be careful what you wish for. So I said, if there's anything significantly large for me to play in this game, if there's anything left, just let me know. And of course there was, I didn't know that. And then I started at Pit Stop and I said, so is this like a D&D game?
I bet they went,
yeah, and they were like, no, not really. So you sure it's not the D&D game? So I tortured them for a few weeks. So that was really good
and they
fun.
deserve that.
They really do. How dare they keep secrets from me?
What's the point?
Yeah, so my sessions were more intense, so I did the same amount of time as everyone else, but I did it in a year rather than over time, and I didn't, stood on the shoulders of giants here because you did early access and had to keep redoing bits, changing bits.
Yeah, and then they dumped all of early access, which was really interesting. I've never been involved in anything where you can record anything for 6 months. I mean, how many? Like 50, 60 different characters for 6 months. It then goes out after early access, they see all the little bits that don't quite work or glitches, and then we think, okay, we can rewrite this. So we're now going to get rid of all of it. All of it. And then we're just going to start again. What's the game called? Not going to tell you. But we're starting
What did
again.
I sound like again?
It's just extraordinary. Yeah.
So
really,
thanks for
really.
your sacrifice, I appreciate it.
I do what I can.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I do what I can.
So I was coming in like every other day for a year, which was great because I didn't have to play anything back. I knew where I was. So I had the benefit of that, and I had a full-time job at the same time because no one told me how long it was going to take.
I know, but do you know how long I was told? 6 months.
I was told
6 months.
I was
tops.
told 2 months.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, and I went, I think I'm a main character in this, and it was like, it was like, come on, man, I've played a game. I watched the early access.
This isn't my first rodeo.
Come on.
I know what this is all about.
Second rodeo. So, Sam, presumably for you then, the character of Karlach was really developed quite fully. So it was just already a character that's there. But Tim, maybe for you, it was worked out as you went along.
Yeah, pretty much. So the early access was quite broad wizard, if you can imagine that. More sort of, but very much like that, more sort of wizardy as like the kind of stereotype, archetypal wizard. And then as we were doing the early access, my natural kind of leaning is like, well, that sounds quite funny, I'll do that. That's quite a funny little thing. So I'll lean into that. And so by the time it came around to actually recording the whole game, the writer had obviously heard that, watched it and thought, oh, okay, that's a really interesting trait to make the wizard more of a human who just happens to be a wizard. Yes, great arcane power, but that's not what defines you. You know, your job doesn't necessarily define what you do. Even your hobby doesn't define what you do. You are you, and there are aspects of you. And so it was playing around that, and also trying to make it quite amusing, because life is like that. Life isn't all sort of, everyone's dead all the time. It's also sort of like, I'm also quite hungry as well, which I think just gives it a colour to things that is really fun to play. And those grey areas, that's where the character lives, is in those murky bits where they do something you don't quite agree with, or they do something that just completely surprises you by its good nature or its purity. And that's where the fun sits, I think.
I'm going to shed a tear right here. It's just pure poetry just coming right coming over you.
Stop it, you.
No,
Stop flirting.
Carry on.
I will never. But Sam, with you then, you came in later, the character was there. Still, what was the connection, first anchor point for you? Where do you just went into Karlach that, yes, this is the connection, this is where I'm going to start?
I mean, they give you a page with the general character arc on it, so you know where it's. Oh, I knew where it was going. We worked with movement directors, which is if you've trained as a dancer or an actor, you'll know what that is. So it's really about the quality of the movement matching the character. And I was playing a rather large character, so I decided with the infernal engine for a chest and being quite big that she probably lifted a lot and didn't stretch afterwards, so it was all very stiff in the chest. And if you're familiar with Laban, I'm going down that rabbit hole. Quality of movement, which is like intention, whether it's direct or indirect, all of that sort of stuff. We came up with pressing for Karlach, because if I do this at my size, it's fine. It's a bit weird. You do that at 7 foot, it's quite scary. So we just needed to make sure there was intention and weight to her, and that was really the way in. And then vocally or accent wise, most of our accents were from Southern England, and
Pretty much,
and
yeah.
she's working class, so it's going to sound a little bit like me. But we changed that up a little bit as well, sort of rules about about the way she speaks. If you've got a US audience, and like, you know, if I went full Cockney, sound like a goblin.
They'd be like, what is that?
She's very sexy.
That
you
is
know.
just a noise.
Yeah, it's just a noise. So I had certain rules, and once those were set, I could play within that. But like Tim was saying, it's that light and dark and grey areas and surprising you. And with Karlach, you've got essentially got a character with PTSD who tells jokes to cover for it, and for as long as she can, until she can't anymore. And that was a real as an actor, a real enjoyable tension to play with her, and it's very real. A lot of people do that.
I'm pretty sure at least somebody in the game says, "What is that?" Or I'm not sure where it was from, but maybe it was you with the wonderful narrator of the game joking about and saying, "Hello, sailor."
Soldier. Unless you're party to a DLC that I'm not.
Yes, the DLC. But obviously, with a game like this and you coming in different times, I presume all of the recording as well as mocap was pretty much done you by yourself. Maybe mocap with somebody trying to be the second person. It's not going to be like I'm Ian McKellen in front of the green screen.
No, this was all done at the same time.
Okay.
Speak and move at the same time. A crazy idea, I know.
Oh my God, the future is here.
I know, right? But we had additional mocap, didn't we? For like, because we couldn't physically touch anyone, so that was like a combination of performances they do, and then I mean, like the bit where Karlach gets to hug again, interesting on your own.
That's quite something.
So they did that for the animation, and then I just had to do it, and I had to just relax into it, and it's in there. It's in that performance.
It's very strange. You imagine all the romance scenes as well. They're all
So
done
when you started
on-
floating, how did you do that?
Oh, you know, just like, is this kind of it? Is that okay? But yeah, it's all done on your own. Imagine how awkward that is, just on your own in a small black room,
With
covered
four
in
of your best
cameras,
friends.
with 4 of your friends who are eating sandwiches in a window, and you'll think, right, we're doing the weave scene.
What's that
Okay. Okay, here we go. 4 hours later, no one can look at each other in the eye. It's nice.
Felt very real, I imagine.
It was very very immediate. It was very, very hot.
Tim, was it you that had a fire alarm ring out and you had to run out?
Yeah, that was me. That's when the fantasy and the reality clash in a way that you really were not expecting. So you can imagine you wear like a black sock. No one looks good in this. With little light dots on and a little hat, and it's awful. And the one thing you think to yourself as you're in these rooms doing this is, well, thank God, no one can see me. This is just us, and it's all contained. And then one particular day, there was a fire alarm, and we all just had to leave immediately. So that I'm standing in the street in London, just with people walking past, just looking, going, is he all right? What's going on?
Haven't I seen you in the upstairs crow?
That was fine, because that was like lovely wigs and brocade.
You look great,
things. You look
that's the opposite of
fantastic.
this.
This is the stuff. This is like that dream you have where you wake up in an exam and you haven't done any research on. Oh my God, I have to do it now. We've got 10 minutes left. This is the same, but you're dressed in a black sock and you're on a London street and everyone's going, "What are you doing?" Weird. And you're like, game, I can't tell you, don't know what it is.
I don't know who I am,
But who it is, and what I am. I think I'm a wizard. I've said too much.
We actually have the wonderful Kaya and Elsie of Split Fiction later on, so this sounds exactly like that. Fiction and reality just coming on together. So it's going to be happening in 5.3 later on in the day. But for now, let's return to Baldur's Gate. That's what we're all here for. Actually, I wanted to ask, again, still on the topic of voice acting and everything, do you have a voice line that immediately makes you get into the character? Or are you just, you know where to just go immediately and you can go, come on.
A voice line that gets me to get no. It's more physical than verbal, because you have a very set way of standing. You have a base pose, and then whatever action you do, you then have to return to that base pose. And so it becomes quite muscle memory. Like, you do 2 years of this, and you will walk into that room and you will stand in that spot and you will do probably 2 or 3 different lines and go, oh, okay, that's where the dial is. Just because it just has sat there for so long, it just becomes part of you. So the way in is just that feeling it. It's the same as an actor will say, if they're playing a part like a Shakespearean role, you don't wear shoes like this. You would wear shoes because it makes you stand a certain way. A jacket makes you feel different to a jumper. So in order to feel that character, you wear their clothes, or gives you a certain standing, which then gives you a mindset, which then seeps into the brain and go, okay, that's where he sits. That's how he sees the world.
What about any of the phrases, lines that just stay with us? That's on occasion you're going about your day, pouring yourself a coffee, or just anything happens, and instead of saying something like I don't know, blimey, you respond. Blimey, of course, it's very.
My dad used to say, but bless you.
But yeah, anything that just still stays with you in the day-to-day life, one of the lines.
I think you've got to realise that we said these lines maybe twice each.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So while
very quick.
Yes, that's the magic of it. Think of it, if you know what a session musician is. So they do all that work on the outside, they've learned the instrument, they do it, and then they're probably, given the music on the day, knock it out in 2 takes. That's what we're doing. It's the same thing, except a lot of the time, we're also not getting the lines in advance. So you've got to be a good sight reader with this, and if you've been playing that character for hundreds of hours, which we did, it does start to become easy. Just need someone to go, right, so you're back in camp now after that boss, before the next one, and then it all kind of comes back, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Well, I'm learning something together with the audience right here. Although, Tim, for you, I was really hoping that you do use Stop Licking the Damn Thing.
I knew what you were doing. I was very aware of what you were doing. But
I'm really glad I sat in the middle.
Yeah, I thought so.
I can moderate us.
But actually, strangely, because there's a bit right near the beginning of the game, and they said, okay, you're just going to introduce your character so that people can pick you. And it was like, okay, well, oh God, okay, how do I do that? Well, just kind of, greet people and tell them who you are. So I said, hello, I'm Gale. And I realised that hello is also how I answer the phone to anyone. Hello. And so I have in the back of my head now, every time I just say hello, oh, that sounds like that game, doesn't it? Sounds like Baldur's Gate. That sounds like that wizard. And you can tell someone has played it even if don't want to say, because I'll say, oh, hello, and they'll go, So I get that, which is quite sweet.
Have you considered changing it? I don't know, Mr. Burns, ahoy hoy?
I'd love to do an ahoy hoy. In fact, I have tried that out. I will not lie, I've done that, ahoy hoy. It's great. It's how the first telephone was answered, isn't it? Yeah. That's it, with ahoy hoy.
Before the hello became an actual thing. It's a thing.
There you go, you're learning something, people.
It's not just fun, it's education. Right here in Comic Con. Sam, maybe tell us any of the favorite side quest stuff, or maybe your favorite character moment that you like to return to, or consider or maybe you wish it was explored even further than it was in the game.
Yeah, and it's controversial, and it might be spoilers, but Karlach mentions going to the pub a few times, and it never happens. It never happens, and I feel there's a great injustice being done there. I think there should be a DLC where she gets that frosty pint, has a fight, cries because she's hurt the pub.
Does some karaoke.
Oh yeah, absolutely does karaoke. Offers to buy the pub because she's found her home. Yeah. Doesn't want an adventure anymore. I feel there's so much in there. And we were denied that. You
did some live D&D. Did you get to go to the pub there?
Funnily enough, twice, yes. It's almost as if they picked up on it. I don't know why, but yeah, that first game in Indianapolis at Gen Con, they put us straight in a pub. And the second one, the third one, we did in around Halloween in London. They put us in a pub, but all the drink was spiked, but I didn't care. We all became vampires, it was great. Turned on the main vampire.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I am glad. Oh, they've had that.
Isabel had like 23 cocktails. She rolled for it, and we went, "That's a lot."
That's gonna be crying into a bin later. Great.
I suppose that's where a majority of role-playing games start, in the tavern. So I'm glad you got your.
Yeah, my first move was actually a hellish rebuke because someone spilt my pint. I was like, "It's okay, guys, I've got this." More me than Karlach, but he died.
Oh, good.
Speaking of unfairness, obviously it's D&D, so people roll dice to do anything from attacking to dialogue options to everything. In the end, do you feel like it makes the characters and the players more human in their actions, that sometimes they succeed, sometimes they fail? Is it something that sort of alleviates and heightens the game even more? That it's not just I don't know, a super duper hero that just does everything right, but they change about.
Yeah, I find it's the justification of the natural one is always interesting. You can be level 20, you can be the best thing in the universe, but you could fail, you can trip, you can stuff it up, and then as a performer you have to justify that, and that's just great improv really, isn't it? I don't know how you found it, because you played a little bit.
I played a little bit, yes. No, I like the inconsistency of it. I like, it's the grey area again, it's where you'll kind of set up something and you'll have an idea of, oh, it'd be great if X, Y, and Z happen, which rarely does, and you'll end up with, oh, we're just doing a MNQ, which I haven't even thought about. So it's things like that which I think, yeah, it's great. It's an extraordinary game that I hadn't really come into contact with until Baldur's Gate. I knew of it, I was aware of it, I knew of its kind of place within the culture, but I've never experienced the tabletop game or playing a game before, so this was quite the eye-opener.
You said you played a little bit of D&D or Baldur's Gate itself?
D&D.
Tim, have you still not played Baldur's Gate 3?
Don't make me answer that question.
Next question.
Thank you.
Next question. But yeah, speaking of gray areas, there's a lot of gray moral choices in the game as well. Some of them maybe are considered canon, some are not. Are you disagreeing with any of them, the ones that are sort of considered to be the correct ones?
Who decides that?
That's true.
That's the point, isn't it? That you can play how you like, and I love the fact that with a full party, you generally don't get consensus on approval or disapproval, that you're always going to make someone unhappy. It's good fun.
What about your own characters? Because you are being left at the behest of all of the players just doing it. Are you enjoying when they just go completely ham with your characters, or or is it like maybe not? Or is it good that they're all chaotic and do just whatever in the game with you?
Yeah, that one. That's the point. It's interactive media.
Makes sense.
That's the point of doing all those different versions, and like actually being controversial endings and things like that. It's the best one's the one you choose because it justifies the story you want to tell. And I think it's incredible they've managed to put that in a video game. And I found the difference between TTRPG players and video gamers. Because the video gamers would save scum and go, no, I have to get a 20 on everything, I'm not playing it correctly. Whereas the TTRPGs went, let's see if I can break this. In the way they do at the table, for too many DMs and try to ruin their day, which is your job as a player, by the way. If you're starting out, you are supposed to ruin it for everybody.
Let's see if I can make DM cry.
Yeah!
That would be something.
Yeah, we kill everyone. Now what's next?
just quit altogether, yeah. Amazing. Before we end, because there's still plenty of time, folks, don't forget there's going to be a Q&A session. I'm not going to forgive myself if I don't ask this. It is 2004. You are still young actors and actresses, and a little movie shooting Shona happens.
You mentioned it last week.
I mentioned it.
Tim, do you remember it? How do you?
Yeah, because he brought it up last week.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I did. Do we remember? I remember bits of it. I remember like little bits of it. It was a very low budget film. It was shot around sort of North London, around Eric Belsize Park, and we just shot very guerrilla style. Yeah. Just went out to the streets, shot things. Because the licensing with cameras in London is if it has a tripod, you have to have a license. If you're holding it, then it means you're not blocking anything. So you can just take a camera out and just film anywhere, that's pretty much, until the police stop you. And so that's basically what we did. And that was the first, that was where we met, wasn't it?
Yes,
that was
where we met.
Yes.
Yeah, it's before I trained, because afterwards I went, I don't really know much about this, do I? I need to probably do that.
But yeah, no,
good experience. We're still talking to each other.
Exactly.
Mainly through lawyers, obviously.
Oh, it goes without
saying.
saying. Yeah. There is a COVID plexiglass here, and that's how it will remain.
Oh, we forgot to install it right here between you two.
Exactly.
It is there. It's just really good technology.
It's mainly a spit guard from.
What am I like?
Amazing. So you coming in later on, almost 20 years later in Baldur's Gate by chance?
Totally by chance.
Spite. This is a way to surprise Tim.
But
he knows nice, because like the next job I did was the first professional job I did was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and everyone in the room is well known, right? Everyone's famous, and then my job is to pretend I belong, right? And then I went, no, seriously, got to train now. And I'm used to being, I did Neil Gaiman's Sandman as well a few years ago, and been in those rooms with those really big casts. And it was, what was lovely about doing Baldur's Gate was bumping into people in the SOC were my peers. And that was rather wonderful, actually.
And just, or anything just goes away.
Pretend that's
hi.
Yeah, but Amelia Tyler, who obviously wasn't in the room because she was pure voice. But Dave Jones, who I've known for some years. Scott, who played the Emperor, I've known him a very long time, almost as long as I've known you. And all very surprising. The last time I saw him, he was very pale, and I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "I've just done something called a romance scene."
Oh, there you go. You see.
I said, "Oh, that means you're popular. I've made you do." He said, "Yes, Brian tested very well." And the thing is, he has a big history of mocap himself, so he did all of that himself.
He did all of that himself.
Tentacles and everything.
Stop it. Wow, I really should play this game.
Yeah, the rest of the team will know because of the tadpole, just so you know that.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that thing.
When you're out and
that's right.
And everyone's going, "No, stop thinking about it."
Yeah.
Memories.
Did what?
Sam, tell me more about Karlach and the fact that she just spent 10 years in hell. And so why do players trust her? Why do players think that she is the moral compass of the group?
Because she was enslaved. Have you not been paying attention?
Yes, I have
She
been
didn't
paying
go there of her own free will. She was a bit of a wrong-un before, but I feel she's reformed, actually. No, I very much approach that as someone getting out of prison early. I'm going, okay, well, I've got a second chance. I'm going to try and put this right. There's a lot, leading up to, let's say, a post-Gortash scene. Of those memories being very repressed up to then. So the way I approached it was, okay, we have a terrible thing and it's a secret and we don't name it until we had to in that scene, and that's what helped me there. As I said, really rewarding role because you're getting to play the full gamut of a person, and I think what's striking about her is because she looks like a literal devil and she's scary and all the rest, but she's one of the most human characters I feel in the game, although I'm a little biased. But no, normally you give that role to a man, so I was very lucky that was written for a femme. And they just let me do stuff. They just went with it, or they just ran out of time, they just gave up on me. That's also possible. But all of that's in there, that's in an info sheet, they tell you what's happened, and she gets time to reflect on what led her there, and there's a lot of self-loathing and blame for that. That's what is great. I didn't have much dialogue about that, so that was it becomes this repressed memory because I don't have a memory of it. Karlach doesn't have a memory because she doesn't want to think about it. So I just left it there rather than torturing myself trying to work out how she would work through that. Why don't we just deny it ever happened? Just push those feelings right down. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could possibly happen? Yeah, it's fine.
I think I can list a couple of things.
Push those right
down.
Well, Tim, I wish
even if I'm even thinking about it, push it right
down.
Therapy, no, just repress it.
Like I said backstage, there's no therapy in Faerun, there's restorative violence.
Exactly that. Tim, I know that you actually support a couple of several charitable advocacy organization working with children and with neurodivergent communities. Anything of that actually went into Gale? He is vulnerable.
Not directly. It wasn't something I made a choice to kind of include. I think it's just something that the combination of the character, the actor, the writer, the environment, the kind of the nature and the place, and all of these kind of factors that come together that colour your decisions in the moment. And so I think so it wasn't anything that was particularly chosen. Sometimes these things just by their very nature come out. Anyone that is quite bookish and quite distinct and quite detailed about things will naturally fall into certain subsets of things, whether they think they are or not, or whether they think they even themselves fall into those certain things. So I think that it certainly is coloured with it, but it wasn't a choice.
Well, we now turn to our resident cake expert. It's back to you, Tim. It's not me, it's not Sam. We know that you've tried, you started baking cakes for your daughter, and now it turned into a hobby.
Yes.
Somebody might have already prepared this question, so I'm going to jump ahead. What kind of cake would Gale bake? Or
it would either
or
be or B.
Yeah.
I think it would either be one of those, you know, those little Portuguese custard tarts. They are phenomenal.
Pasta de nata.
Thank you, I'm getting a lot of pasta de nata.
whatever it is, it sounds
They are amazing. They are an absolute taste sensation. I think one of those, or like a red velvet, if it was a slightly bigger. Yeah. There you go.
Is that what ambition tastes like?
That is exactly what ambition tastes like.
Tastes like ambition. What about Karlach? What's Karlach's cake would be? No, Tim can still answer. You can say yes or no.
Cupcakes.
Like anything.
Just-
like, is it edible?
Unflavored
She would eat it.
dough.
She's not. Yeah, it wouldn't make it into the oven. She'd eat the cookie dough.
Do you know
Actually,
what?
if she touches it, it would
Yeah.
kind of cook.
Yeah.
wouldn't
I
it?
reckon you would absolutely be one of these people on Bake Off. I don't know if you have Bake Off here, where someone would like pull out some muffins and go, "It's ruined."
Come on, don't throw them away.
It's like, just oh my God, they're not good enough for anything. We can
I think she'd still eat them.
Still
She'd
do
try and
it.
eat them.
Yeah, she would. It's delicious. It's very dry. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, folks, there's just about 5 minutes left for a Q&A session. A microphone is right over there on my right side, on majority of you left side. You can start lining up already. Prepare your questions, think about what you're going to ask. Our lovely, lovely panelists, honestly, I feel like I'm a British panel show or something like that, are going to answer it. But yeah, start lining up, and in about 5 minutes, you are going to have the chance to ask all of your burning questions. My burning question is, if either of you, or maybe together, would appear in a game for real, just you, as Sam and as Tim, how long do you think you would last?
Oh, and that one.
Past Nautilus, I suppose, but yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, I think I can answer this with some
Go for
authority.
it.
I would last seconds. Seconds. I would be the type of player that would spend 20 minutes going, I'm running into a table, how do I not run into a table? Now I'm looking at the city, now I'm dead. Now I'm dead.
But that's you playing the game.
Yes,
what about
that's
you as you? You're
I
no
would be
table.
running into a table, looking at the ceiling,
Screaming.
screaming, going, I don't understand.
I don't like this,
I don't
it's
like
dangerous.
it. This world isn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Oh,
This
no.
zombie apocalypse is not as fun.
It's not. It's
Wow, you feel like I feel like you have experience of a zombie apocalypse.
I'm
Like-
having one right now. No, I'm
Oh
just
my
So sorry.
God.
Oh wow. Wow,
He's being,
what's that?
he's being very British and just pushing it right. Push those emotions right down. That's it.
That's it.
I'm just reliving Act 1 over and over again. It's death, it's murder, it's everything. I think I'm going to do a little bit of quick fire before we let our wonderful guests of the convention go. So just without thinking, first thing that comes to your head, both of you, best British sitcom.
Faulty Towers.
Blackadder.
Fair enough. I respect. Biggest. So right now, obviously, everybody's meeting you. Me as well. I meet you for the first time. But what about your biggest fan moments? Who did you have like absolute crazy experience when you met them?
Tom Baker.
Really?
In the streets.
Oh my God.
my knees went. And he was like, yes, it is me.
Yes. Mine was I was in an airport. I went up. It was the first time I was ever traveling. I think I was in business. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's free champagne. This is great. I went up to.
Get used to this.
I could like. This is nice. I was quite young.
Oh.
And I went up to the place where all the glasses were, and there was a guy standing in front, and I said, oh, I'm really sorry, can I get a glass? And the guy turned around, and it was Jack Nicholson. And he went, of course you can, son, here you go. And I went, ha! And then I had
effect on people.
I've never experienced anything like that in my life, because literally I was like, you're the Shining from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you're the Joker, oh my God. And yet before I went, thank you. That was all I could manage. And then I remember sitting down, and there was nobody in this area, sitting down, and my girlfriend at the time said, you're right, very pale, fine. And then he sat opposite, and at one point, I just kind of was looking down, and then I looked up, and he went,
Yeah, he knew what he was doing too. He knew what he was doing.
It was quite something. So that really took the wind out of my sail. I've never, because he is like one of my absolute heroes above anybody else. He is so unbelievably cool and great, and is in some of my favorite films of all time, and then suddenly to just see him asking
Working in the VA lounge.
just yeah, just
Clearing
work.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Just serving sandwiches. Who knew?
Before we throw it to all of the folks, could you do the Jack Nicholson face at me? It was all to the side constantly.
Of course you can. Sound rude.
Oh my God, I just met Jack Nicholson.
Do you feel funny in your tummy now?
I feel better in my tummy.
Okay, we'll talk about this after.
Yeah, we'll talk about after. But folks, a round of applause for Sam and Tim. And it's enough of me. Please come up and forward to ask your questions.
Hello. First, I would like to say that you guys are my Jack Nicholson, and I'm absolutely shaking in my boots right now. But Sam, you mentioned earlier about being like a newcomer in a field full of professionals, and I would like to know if you are still struggling with feeling like you're part of the company in places that you are in, and if you do, then how do you fight that like feeling of being an imposter?
Yeah, so I was an imposter. I didn't have that experience. I feel that the way that I define imposter syndrome is that you're an expert, but you feel like you don't belong. Yeah, if we can agree on that, because I think I met a NASA astronaut who feels like she's going to be found out, and I thought,
Wow.
what chance have the rest of us got if you're not?
Wow.
And it's very highly intelligent people. Yeah, so I wasn't actually an imposter. Honestly, it was the first professional job, and I was out of my depth. And that was part of the reason I trained, because I never wanted to feel that again, and I haven't. I've always been able to work my way through that. You know, I do belong there because I was cast there. And as I get older, I become the influence rather than the lucky newbie that's in the room. But yeah, it's something we all have to deal with. And yeah, I guess if you feel fully assured that you know, as in my case, I trained. So I feel that was the problem. I feel I don't know what I'm doing, but when I did know what I was doing technically, then I felt I belonged, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. Next up.
Hello. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned it's normal for things to get deleted. Maybe you remember something in your career that you wanted to keep something, or maybe the opposite, lose something.
As long as it's not under NDA, anything that got deleted of your work that you would love to still keep.
Oh, that's in a game that got cancelled.
Are you still under NDA?
Yeah, forever. That's how they work. It was a big one.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm just trying to think. Oh, there's bound to be
Deleted scenes, I'm sure.
tons of stuff. There's a really good deleted scene which I've yet to see, which is me in Wolf Hall with Mark Rylance, and there's a scene with me and Mark Rylance at a witch burning, and we're standing watching the witch burn as we discuss the future of the English kingdom. And that was a deleted scene from Wolf Hall, and I would love to see that.
It's got to be on the Blu-ray.
I'm sure it is. I'm
Gotta
sure
be.
it is.
Must be. Next question, please.
I have two questions for Sam. First of all, who is the best love interest for Karlach? Who is kind of
Best love interest for Karlach.
Oh, so if you're playing Origin,
This is awkward. Sorry, carry on.
This is more controversial.
This is. Sorry.
I mean,
once,
I'm
quite
feeling
awkward.
influenced now by the fact it's next.
Don't feel influenced, but I am.
But slightly, just slightly. If you're playing Origin Karlach as good, I would say Will has the most interesting dialogue because it's very specific. I know.
Boo.
And we have some good party banter.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Oh God. Right, just put your fingers in your ears. And if you're playing Evil, which you can as an Origin Karlach, Minthara is an incredible performance. Yeah, she's really good. She got really sad at the end.
She did.
More than anyone else, I thought.
Yeah.
Yes, that one.
No, that is good.
I have a question. If Karlach romance Minthara, will she be able to fix her?
Karlach fix Minthara. Why would you want to? She's perfect as she is.
like moral compass. Do not kill tieflings.
I know Emma says, like, you know, it's more than playing the baddie. She's been brainwashed, essentially, and she's been used by other powers. So, yeah, I think as it goes on, she starts to be able to make choices, that's for sure. But I'm not sure that Karlach would see herself as a good example of a moral compass, though she's trying. I think she sees Will as more of that than herself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tim, I saw you there trying to do the pantomime thing. Oh, yes, they're right behind you and boo and everything. You trying to control the crowd right there?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not in the slightest.
Gale disapproves.
Gale disapproves.
Gail will remember that. Please go ahead.
Hi, so my question basically turned to only to Samantha one, and it is, have you adopted anything of your character while playing it as Karlach?
I'd like to turn that on you, because I keep getting asked this question as if I should, and that worries me. But have you taken on any of the qualities of the characters you've played in this game? Good question.
I don't know, actually.
See? I can't. I said she likes to run around and be violent, and by law I'm not allowed to do that. So I'll get away with it though.
You got some big shoes.
I do, but I also like, you know, I could just go, look, I'm in character for a game that was made 2.5 years ago. There you go. Flip a table. How charming.
Thank you.
Have you considered installing an infernal engine? Maybe that'll do something. All right, please.
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing to see you today. So my question would be more about your professional side, about voice acting specifically, like from a person who has nothing to do with it at all. And basically it's like 2 questions. One of them being, for you as a voice actors, how does it feel to see a character which looks completely different from you, but they have your voice? And the second question would be, what did you feel when you finally saw Karlach and Gale?
Oh, well, it's not just your voice, because this is mocap. So the first time that I saw any rendering of Gale was one of the guys from Larian came in and said, would you like to see what you've been doing? It's quite rough, but you get an idea. Yeah, okay, it's been great. And in my head, it was going to be like really crude animation. You think, was it still very early doors? It was excellent. But the weirdest thing is when it not only sounds like you, but little things that you do. Like, for instance, I do that. That's what I do. Oh, and you go, oh God, that's in a game now. And now I do that, and people go, oh my God, yeah. Gale does that. But no, technically I do that.
I was here first.
I was here first, but now he's taking it. It's like an uncanny valley of the kind of ultimate level, because it also, with the rendering of the characters now, there's something that you can see in us in the animation, like little bits, like little eyes or just something. So the longer you look at it, you do begin to think, wow, that really does look like me, yet it moves like me, but it isn't me. But it kind of is, as a strange kind of like disembodied version of you that will forever live on like a ghost in the machine. You know, it's quite extraordinary. Yeah, it is quite uncanny.
What was the second question you asked? Because I think you answered that.
The second question was, what did you feel when you saw Karlach and Gale? And before that, what do you feel overall when you see a character with your voice?
Yeah, so again, voice and body. So both of those things. And that was really cool, because I'd done Demon's Souls as a player character in that, but there's no dialogue. It's a lot different. You know, now you're on fire, now you're on fire at 30 feet, now 50 feet, because that's different. So, you know, that was, and it was weird because we shot out of order. So you go, oh, that's where that bit goes. Okay, now that makes sense. So that was fun, and then you go, I'm in a video game. That's pretty cool, as someone that's been playing for a while. I don't think she looks like me, so that was nice, because I hate watching myself in film and TV, because you go, oh, that's what you do with your face, is it? Oh God, but it's not my face, so it's all fine. That was really cool. But the story I wanted to share was I didn't really see her until we were doing the character select. That was it. and they said, can you do something physically that like we want to pick her, right? So like imagine on the screen, like there's a 7-foot supermodel wearing a bikini. So I'm like this. Because what else do you have? You have to do anything. You're a 7-foot supermodel, so that's why the character selects. I'm like, it's the best character in the game. It's up to you. I'm not going to throw myself at you. So that was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do remember you wanted to do the side pose as well, but they refused you, and then they still put it in the game?
No,
Didn't
no.
work?
It just I wanted to be able to put my hands on my hips when I wanted to, because I've got quite a wide, big character. But they said we don't know what weapons you'll be wearing at that point, so it might mess with the animation. And then I was annoyed because she does it a lot in the background. But I could have done that.
All right, please, last question.
This will be the last question.
Hi, first of all, it's so surreal to see you in real life after 700 hours of playthrough. My question is, this game and watching you all play D&D as actors and talking about your history of acting and stuff like that is what got me out of dark place and back into acting. And I want to ask, what would you recommend for like voice acting? Even like mocap was the first time I was introduced by you to this kind of experience. And what would you like, I don't know, what would be an advice you would give for someone who's starting out or want to try different kind of acting places like voice or anything, especially someone who doesn't have like the British accent or like from a small country like Lithuania? So I guess that's the question, is your advice.
Hello, soldier.
Almost. The line is, hey soldier. But don't worry about it, you don't have to play it, it's all good. Oh my, I guess that would be about knowing your local market, right? And I mean, how many British games have we made? I mean, Larian's Belgian, just done a couple of games for the French.
Written in Ireland.
Written in Ireland. And then we've got, you know, CDPR, Polish. You know, I don't know what the market is in this country. Imagine there's dubbing work. Yeah?
I'm not sure, but for someone who's trying like not specifically like British but different kind of accent, because like obviously there's probably ways to learn different accents and stuff, but just a recommendation who wants to get into like the bigger market, like in England or like I don't know, whatever bigger countries, because in here we don't have much.
There's been I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. There's been a move towards authenticity, because back in the day you would try and do 20 accents and you would get all the jobs, and we've realised that's wrong. We should give that to the people actually from the region. So, you know, something like Dying Like the Beast, that's, I think they're Polish as well, actually. They had generic, you know, Eastern European accents, that's the way in. I mean, you just need an agent that has that access. Or you go to meetups and you meet developers, that's the way I get work, personally, because I think so few of our acting agents, well, they don't play games. A lot of the casting directors don't play games, and a lot of the people casting within third-party houses do not play games. They're not aware of who the actors are, so you've got to go to them. But I don't know your market, unfortunately, so I can't be too specific. But
it's not specifically for the market; it's just in general.
Yeah.
And like, how do you even audition for like? Where do you find auditions for games and mocap and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, ours came through. I think it was either directly through Pitstop or it was Spotlight.
I think so.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I got mine through an agent, but do remember this is the first game I've ever done, so I know nothing. Basically, apart from that one game.
I mean, if you know how to act, you've done 99% of it. Have you done any mocap training at all?
No, do you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, because I did, but tiny bits, stunt work, hilariously, on like Good Omens and things like that. So I'd done versions of it, done green screen stuff, but not like that.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
I never did it. That didn't come into my audition whatsoever. There are a lot of people out there that will take your money to say, if you do my expensive course, you will get. That's not quite right. So I would, just chase the acting, and wherever you see jobs posted, that's where it's going to be. But if you want to get into games specifically, go to them. Go to meetups, conventions, conferences, that sort of thing. Make sure you're known.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this question. Actually, I was going to ask the very same thing. How do you get into voice acting? But Everything has
Still
been.
don't know the answer to that
You don't
question
know
with
the
a voice
answer.
actor.
Yeah. I do
Actually,
actually
you
know.
need a lot of good voices under your belt and then
Yeah.
do that training
Yeah.
specifically for it.
Yeah, actually, I do have a tip. There's at the BGE across the street, there is Developers Terrace. Talk to every single developer. Ask them if they want voice in their games. Yeah, and you can immediately get it. Yeah.
See, that's a good one, because that's
That is a
specific.
good one.
I wish we could talk for another hour, but we are woefully out of time. Folks, do not fret. You can get photos with Sam and Tim. You can get autographed, chat with them. It's all going to be in Hall 5. Get huge posters. They're all going to be here.
I was going to say we have 2 more panels.
Yeah, 2 more panels. They're going to be
every day.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday right here in this very hall as well, 5-1. So if you haven't had the chance to ask a question now and you come up with something finally, ask them on future days. They're all going to be here for the whole weekend. Thank you very much for being here. A huge round of applause for Sam and Tim.
Can we do a selfie? Can we do a little panel selfie? You've got longer arms than me. If you could just stay for a selfie, please, that'd be amazing.